Hey, Michigan Maniacs. This is the Michigan Football Rant, and I'm your host, Adam Brewer. This is a quick hitter post-season hangout. That's right, guys. I just have a few things that have been bugging me this for the last couple weeks now. It really, really has been bugging me, and it's one of the main reasons why I avoid ESPN at all costs. Okay. I had to look at, you listen to ESPN, you listen to pretty much anybody, you would think Alabama is the second coming. Like, they are the greatest college football team to ever be playing college football. Jalen Milroe is the second coming of, Michael Vick, Lamar Jackson. Name any one of them. Vincent Young. Name any one of them, and that's who he is to ESPN or anybody pretty much outside of Michigan fans, I guess. So I was like, okay, is he really this good? Like, I had to know. There was a few things, though, that had been bothering me, and that was one of them. So I went back and I watched Bama, Tennessee. I watched Bama, LSU. I watched Bama, Arkansas. I watched Bama, Georgia. I didn't get a chance to watch Bama, Texas A&M. That one boggles my mind, by the way. Bama won 26-20, but Milroe, that was his best passing performance. He had over 321 yards passing and like 2 or 3 touchdowns and negative yards rushing because he was sacked 3 times. No, not 3 times, 6 times. My bad. That's what boggled me was, how can you put a man on his back 6 times and still lose by 6? I looked at the numbers. Both of their wide receivers had huge games. Burton had like 6 for 197, and I think Bond had, 7 for 97 or something like that. And that's what it was. It was just deep ball passing, and he connected a few times, and that was it. Every other time, he must have been sacked. It must have been bomb for a touchdown or sack. That's it. But what it does seem to be is if they do all sorts of different types of slants or route, curls or whatever they can do to create some type of confusion. So you pick wrong. You pick the wrong wide receiver, and the other one is wide open 30 yards downfield. And if that's the case, he will hit them. He throws a beautiful deep ball. But other than that, I didn't see anything that was so dynamic about the kid. Now, listen, he rushed for 2 in 2 games out of the whole season. He rushed for over 100 yards in 2 games. The other game that he ever got close over 50 yards rushing was against Mississippi State. He had 69. So, but the 2 teams that he rushed for over 100 yards was, I wrote this down, LSU, who, by the way, has the 106th ranked rushing defense, 106, and then Auburn, 91st rushing defense. Outside of that, he maybe averaged about 30 yards rushing per game. Maybe a little bit more, I'm guessing at this point, because you take out those 3 big games, and I would say he probably had about 30 yards per game, maybe rushing. It's deep ball passing, and it's hoping to God he can get to the corners, because if you keep him contained, because they will find ways to create running. They always do sweeps, or they'll do something to get him to the corner. If you don't contain, he will kill you. If you don't stay in your lanes, he will kill you. But Arkansas kept him bottled up. Tennessee kept him bottled up. The only thing that really screwed Tennessee over from winning that game was that they stopped throwing the ball mid-level throws, and they were only focusing on either running the ball or tossing it deep in the second half. That's what got to Tennessee. With Alabama's defense, it looks like you're going to have great success, and I probably said this in the big game pregame. Great success in the middle, because I'm telling you, they're really good. I'm not throwing shade on Alabama. They're really good, but their middle can be abused. Tennessee, Arkansas. If Brock Bauer was healthy, I think even Georgia could have really used it. They said he was healthy, but I'll tell you, I rewatched that game in Georgia. Brock Bauer was not 100% healthy. The middle, but if you're not going to do the middle, you have to do quick hitting plays. If you allow those boys up there to get to you, and I'm talking about those big bad boys of Dallas Turner and Braswell. Turner has 10.5 sacks. Braswell has 8. If you allow them time, they will get you, right? They're just going to. They're big, they're fast, but they don't always blitz them. They have a really interesting defense, man. But their linebackers, if you had to pick a position that wasn't as great, I would say it's the linebackers. And I think you can take advantage of the linebackers in the middle. You do a few quick hitting plays to the outside, or just do what Tennessee did. Right off the bat, Tennessee just bombed them. And Joe Milton, by the luck of God himself, completed a long-ass, fantastic catch by this guy, Squirrel White. I did say that correct. Squirrel White. Squirrel being his given name. A beautiful catch, by the way, though. That kid had 8 catches by halftime. Squirrel White against Alabama. It can happen, but Michigan will have to do everything that Michigan does not do normally to get Alabama on their heels. And I think if you get them on their heels early, they will not recover. I really don't think so. I think that I really think we've got a good chance if we just continue to do quick hitting plays, beat up the middle, that kind of stuff. I'm very excited about this. I'll be honest. I after watching these games, I feel 100% better. Like, I was just like, oh my God, we're going to get killed by this team. This might be the best Alabama team that's ever existed. And then I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. They were a 4th and 31 play away from losing to Auburn, who had the 91st rush defense. They were 1 play away from not even being in this thing. So I was like, I had to go back and rewatch it. So I really do. I think he's pretty good, Milroe. But I'm telling you, if Michigan just gets pressure in its face, contains the edges, right, stays in your lane, I think we have a really good chance to frustrate the hell out of this kid and really goat him into doing and throwing some really bad passes that can get us interceptions that we need to really tip the game in our favor. I really do believe it. He holds that ball forever, just hoping and praying that one of his guys gets open enough that he can toss that ball downfield. That's all he's hoping for. I don't know if he does any real reads that well, because every time I've ever seen him, he's either sitting in the pocket, dancing around and then heaves the ball, or he's getting the ball and he's running to the edge. Now, against LSU, he did a bunch of different stuff because LSU's defense is god-awful. You know the reason why Brian Kelly wants Michigan? If you've heard this, and maybe I'm jumping all over the place, but if you heard this recently, Brian Kelly said that he would jump at the chance to coach at Michigan. You want to know why that is? Because he knows if LSU had Michigan's defense, they would have beat Alabama this year. Our defense doesn't the real encouraging thing is our defense doesn't have to play the greatest game it's ever had to beat Alabama. They don't. They just have to play their their game. They can't shove their head up their butts. They can't do that. And then we've been known to do that. But if we just play like we have all year, if we play like we did against Ohio State, we can beat Alabama. I'm telling you, if we play that way, we can do it. I don't see their tight end's good. He's like a third wide receiver basically, but they don't necessarily use him as much as you think they would. Mainly it's Burton and Bond. Those are the two dudes they are dying to get the ball to, or they find some way to hit the edge with the running game, with the running backs or with Milroe. And then, when the pocket breaks down, he'll occasionally go up through the middle, but he did most of that through LSU. I have a great feeling about this because Alabama, they all this talk about how good Alabama is. Alabama hasn't played a defense like they've played in Michigan this whole season. And you want to know how I know Nick Saban is nervous about Michigan's defense? He tipped his hand a little bit, right? And we all know what it is. He went and he got Hilo. He went and hired Hilo. He's nervous about Michigan's defense. I don't think he cares too much about our offense. I don't think they're vastly worried. I don't think they're very worried about us on offensively at all, to be quite honest. But he's worried about that defense. He knows he only has 4 plays. And what they do a bunch of redirection shit. You'll see him constantly put that running back into motion, and they'll fake like they're tossing it to him, and then they'll run to the opposite direction, right? They do it all. They did it all the time against Tennessee. I saw them do it against LSU. That's a play they love to do. And they'll fake it, and they'll fake it, and they'll fake it, and then all of a sudden, boom, 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 they'll just keep hitting that. As soon as that kid goes into motion, and they're hiking it, and then they're handing it right off to him. They do a lot of that stuff to keep you not knowing what's going on, so this way they can hit you down deep. That's all they're doing. They're jabbing you, and then when you put your arms down and you're not paying attention, they hit you deep. I mean, I've seen it too many times just in the last couple days watching Alabama football. Nick Saban's scared to death of Michigan's defense. He is. That's why he went for Hilo, to get any type of info he can to maybe fool us into something. Now, there was something, because Alabama has not seen anybody like Michigan all season long. Georgia is the best run defense that Alabama faced all season. They were 13th. Oh, my fault. Yeah. What was that? No, that's pass defense. Sorry. Georgia's pass defense is 13th. Georgia's rush defense is 25th. They played Texas, who has one of the best run defenses in the country, at number 3. But their pass defense is god-awful. It's like 80th or something like that, 85th, some crazy. They have not faced a total team like they've played in Michigan, or they're getting ready to play in Michigan all season long. Now, some people are going to say, well, Michigan's only ranked that high because, they didn't play anybody all season. Well, for people who say that, I would like to say, go F yourself. But 2, does anybody forget the run that Clemson had from 2016 to 2019, right? They won a total of, 2 national titles? And they'd been in the national title game 5 times or something like that. Okay. They played no one. The ACC was god-awful. Just to give you an idea, all right? Now, this is just to prove to the people who say that Michigan hasn't played anybody, so therefore they're not good enough to stop Alabama. I hate to tell you this, but Clemson didn't play anybody in 2016. Their rival, Florida State, okay, that season in 2016, they were good. They were 10-3, but 5-3 in the ACC. Sounds a lot like Ohio State sounds a lot better than that, right? That's more like a Penn State type of season. They played Virginia Tech in the ACC championship. Virginia Tech was 10-4, was 6-3 in the ACC. Okay, didn't play decent, right? Decent. Then they beat the hell out of Ohio State 31-0. Then they beat Alabama the first year, 2016. They came back, lost to Alabama in 2017, but still, Florida State was 7-6 that year, 3-5 in the ACC. Miami was 10-3 and 7-2 in the ACC. Virginia Tech was 9-4 and 5-3 in the ACC. So do you see what I'm saying here in 2018? Let's look at it this way. Florida State, 5-7. Pitt, 7-7. By the way, Pitt was 7-7, and they played Clemson in the ACC championship game in 2018. 2019, Florida State, 6-7. North Carolina, 7-6. And they played Virginia in the ACC title game at 9-5. It sounds a lot like the same kind of competition that Michigan's played, but I think Michigan has always had Ohio, and Penn State's been pretty good. Penn State is the Virginia Techs or the Miamis that they've played at 10-3, 10-4, that kind of shit. That's Penn State. We've played better competition, and they still have the gall to fucking talk shit about who. And by the way, their non-conference schedule was bullshit too. They only played Auburn home and home, where they beat Auburn both times. Auburn only in 2017 was 10-4, but that was it. The year before that, Auburn was stunk. I mean, they were like 5-7. Yeah, they were 8-5. Okay, not bad, but still not world beaters. And then Texas A&M was 8-5, and that was it. So, I mean, it's just crap, man. I get tired of saying just because Michigan doesn't play anybody, they're not good enough to beat Bama. It's not true. Bama is not world beaters this year, but if we do certain things offensively, and I know this is going to sound crazy, and people are going to, and I think I probably already said this, so it might not sound as crazy to you guys, but if the Michigan offense can play the type of game they played against TCU. Now, listen, there's a few caveats to this. One, JJ, wipe away those 2 pick sixes, right? If that you wipe those 2 things away, those 2, I know they're huge. Obviously, you can't rewrite history, blah, 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 blah. I get it. I'm just saying, take those 2 things away. Michigan wins that game 45-37, right? J.J. McCarthy, look at what J.J.'s line would have been. 20 for 34, 343 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 52 yards rushing, 1 touchdown. That's one hell of a game. I guarantee you. Yeah. I would say it's pretty safe to guarantee. I think if JJ has that line, he has over 340 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 50 yards rushing, and 1 touchdown. Michigan beats Alabama. I really feel like I can guarantee that. I mean, because Michigan's defense just has to play as hard as they did against just how they've been doing the rest of the season. Penn State, Maryland, who is very close to what we'll see in Alabama with actually Talia is a much better quarterback in my opinion than Milroe is. Milroe's just bigger and stronger, but he can't throw it as well as Talia. Talia was a surgeon on some of those pass plays, and he can throw it from mid-range, long-range, short, anything that you want, Talia can do it. Milroe can't yet. Not saying he won't get there, but he can't right now. So if Michigan's defense just holds, if they can hold Alabama to 17 to 20 points, and JJ throws for over 340 yards, 2 touchdowns, and rushes for 1, I guarantee you Michigan will win this game. Now, that's the whole thing, though. Because if they do that, because then look at the other thing. Edwards had 23 rushes for 119. Bell had 6 receptions for 135 and a touchdown. Wilson had 5 receptions for 104 and a touchdown. I mean, those are great. Those are really good line numbers to have for a victory. If we perform at that level without the 2 pick sixes, we will win the game against Alabama. That's why, you know what, I was going to do this episode and say, well, you know, there's a few unheralded or unsung heroes that we could be looking for, and the top 5 would be this. And I was really looking to see who it is. I have a few, and I'll say who they are later, but scratch it. This game, no unsung heroes. J.J. McCarthy, you need to play like you are the man that we all think you are. You need to do that. You get tired of standing there 2 seasons in a row, watching those 2 teams celebrate their fucking wins in the goddamn playoff, then motherfucker, get on your horse and play like a motherfucking maniac. You understand? Throw for 340 yards. Run your little ass off. Do what you need to do, boy, but you need to do it now. Like, this is the game you prove yourself. All right? Hey, Corum, run your little punk ass over. Run them all over, dude. Just do everything you got to. This is the game, dude. This isn't, we're not holding anything back anymore. I don't want to hear, oh, well, our guys were tired, or they were hurt, or they were confused, or they were on their period. I don't give a fuck, dude. This is the game. You want to go down as a Michigan fucking legend? Then go down in the Michigan fucking legend and beat Bama, so this way we can at least try and win a national title. I am getting sick and tired of saying, well, unsung heroes, maybe if we do this. No, we have stars on this goddamn team. Stand up and act like it, for heaven's sakes. When the light's the fucking brightest, boys, stand up there and finally do something. I'm getting tired of it, because it's not like we have a lack of talent. Mindset. You can beat this team. They're not the greatest Alabama team that's ever existed. This is your chance to go down as Michigan fucking legends. Do it. I don't want to say, golly, how great was it that, I was going to say Karan Higdon. That would be something if Karan Higdon had a great game. No, Khalil Mullings. Oh, man, what a great... Oh, can you imagine without him, we wouldn't have won the game? If that's the case, then I'm going to be disgusted with guys like Blake Corum. I'm going to be disgusted with guys like Donovan Edwards. I'm going to be disgusted with guys like J.J. McCarthy. You want to be Michigan legends. You want to be Michigan men. This is the game. You do it. Plain and simple, this is the game. You do it. If Khalil Mullings or Tyler Morris, God bless them, if they do help us win, then that's great, and I'll be happy to be in the national title game. But if those mother effers are pulling our ass out of the fire, then our 3 big horses, our leaders, have let us down. Corum, Edwards, McCarthy. If we need Khalil Mullings to pull us out of the fire, then we're toast. And I get so, we're not going to be toast. It's just, God, I get frustrated when I think about this shit. I want us to finally do something. I'm getting tired of hearing people criticize us. And Michigan's given them plenty of examples why we can't do it. How about this one time? We just stand up, grab our man parts, and effing play like we've never played before. How about that? Play really, really good. How about that? Please. All right. I think that's about all I can say. Oh, before I go, I'll leave you with the unsung heroes, right? That I would love to see these guys make huge plays. When this was going to be the angle I was taking, and then I just got annoyed with it all. Khalil Mullings, I think he has a chance to, I really do. If I'm taking out my whole, I'm angry at Blake Corum and all them for not standing up and not playing or whatever I was trying to do there. Khalil Mullings fits what would be great against Alabama's defense. He's big. He doesn't go down with the first tackle, Donovan Edwards. He puts his head down and he runs just like Haskins, which would be good against Alabama's defense. And he can run in the middle. I think Stewart, I think I would love to see this pairing for rushers, edge rushers. I would love to see the pairing of McGregor and Harrell. And then I would love to see, because I really do believe that this next one is going to be dangerous. You give me Stewart and you give me Moore. I think Moore is going to be a game changer in this one. I really do. And I think it's going to go unnoticed. He's going to push Milroe into Stewart, because he's going to eat up a few of those blockers. He's going to cause that running back to have to hit him, and he's going to drive him back, and which will cause Milroe to go right into Stewart. I'm telling you, I think Moore is going to have I think he's going to have a very good game, and no one's really going to know about it. Like no one, once you see the other stats, you're not going to be like, well, yeah, Derek Moore, he had a great game. I think I'm very excited about this game. I think our defense is much better than people give it credit for. I just worry about Michigan's mindset. Michigan's mindset is what beat us against TCU. Georgia was vastly better than us in every way possible. Just vastly better. It was embarrassing how much better Georgia was than we were. But all those years we lost to Ohio State, it had nothing to do with being outclassed or out-talented, right? Like, they had more talent, fine, but that wasn't the reason why they beat us. It was our mindset. We were trying to steal their shoes in a huddle, like in a big pileup. Aiden Hutchinson and Demp or Hemp or whatever that stinker's name was trying to steal the dude's shoe. John O'Corn was scared to death. Don Brown refused to change calls, refused. Pride took over Don Brown. Our mindset fucked us against Ohio State. And what's crazy, once our mindset changed on how we approach that game with Ohio State, we have not lost to them since. That's what I'm saying. Our leaders, JJ, Corum, Edwards, Loveland, Chris Jenkins, Junior Colson, Mikey Samerstill, Will Johnson, these leaders of ours have to stand up and change that mindset. Say, we are not losing today. I don't care if I die on this field. We are not losing today. Like Jim Harbaugh said, we're going to win or die trying. Once that changes, we'll beat them. We'll beat the Alabama. This is the perfect time. All right, I got to get out of here. I hope you enjoy this. I know it's all over the place, but, if you've been listening for more than 2 weeks in a row, I'm all over the place all the time. So it's, it's like my thing. So, guys, it is great to be a Michigan Wolverine, and hopefully come January 2nd, or when all zeros hit on January 1st, when we at the end of that game, it is great to be a Michigan Wolverine, and we are Houston bound to a national title chance. It can happen. So it is great to be a Michigan Wolverine, and always and forever, guys, go blue.